Last year, Jeff Bezos came into my restaurant and I had the opportunity to serve him, and he did not pay the bill. In fact, I was told that Jeff doesn't get the bill and that the bill will be delivered to his 2 security guards that sat at the bar and watched him eat. To which, of nobody's surprise, they left a 20% tip, which I'm always grateful for. You know, any tip is better than no tip. But it made me sick that man could hand every single person in that restaurant $60 million, and the next 27 generations of his family would still be able to not lift a pretty little finger and be able to survive. He was actually very nice and addressed me by my first name and was very respectful, remembered my name the whole time, and even Lauren was very sweet. But it just blew my mind that they rid themselves of the responsibility of knowing what the bill was, because then that way they kind of bypass me as a server being able to say, oh, well, Jeff didn't tip me, his security did. Like,
When did it become the responsibility of somebody that is looking to go get something to eat to make sure that you have generational wealth? I am so confused. And see, this is what's wrong with America, is that nobody believes that they have to create a product, go through the woes of risking everything that you've ever worked for or leaving your job in order to start a business, then becoming successful, choosing how you want to live your life. America used to be the land of the free, home of the brave. It used to be a place where everybody had an opportunity to go and do what they want to do when they want to do it. You can go and live your life how you want to, freedom of speech and all of this. And this is largely what we're getting back to in the Trump administration and our cultural norms. But for her to sit here and she tried to lead the story in order to entice people to watch it and or create a narrative about Jeff Bezos by saying that he didn't pay the bill, trying to make it seem like he skipped out on the bill, when in reality, he wants to enjoy dinner, and it's a reason why there's other people in his purview who he pay, lots of people that he pay, people that he's given in jobs to, so many people that he's made millionaires as a result of. You can become a shareholder of Amazon also, but for some reason, you believe that you're supposed to be special and everybody inside of the restaurant is supposed to get $60 million in order for them to feel great. And this is why they say wealth is silent. It's not silent because they don't operate in opulence and love and enjoy their stuff with friends and family and people that is of their ilk or understand exactly what money is and why you need to increase your value and increase your circle at the same time. They don't feel like people like this that want to say shit and talk about them on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube and say, oh no, they didn't tip me. No, that's the responsibility of this person, so you can't throw my name under the bus. This is why a lot of times people that have money, they just want to completely remove themselves, or they move in silence, or they trying to be a little bit more inconspicuous if they're not famous, if they don't have some level of visibility because they were a CEO or even a creator or something like that. They don't want the attention that comes along with it because everybody is looking for a story. Everybody is looking to come up. Everybody is entitled to their fortune. And it's so crazy, man. It is so insane. If you look at some of the comments, just look at some of the comments on some of these people's pages. Here, I'll pull it up right now for you before we get back to the video. Let me pull up some of the comments and then you guys tell me how entitled this fruitcake, cupcake, I don't want to work for anything, I deserve everything, entitled generation, because I am the one that is sitting here telling you guys, yeah, you know what? Tipping culture is bad. People need to tip. I don't understand how people are not tipping. She got 20%. What else the fuck do you want? You did your job, now go home. Look at this. Look at some of these. Tip, 20% tip from a billionaire is a slap in the face. When I was in college, I had a really great paycheck and went out to dinner and tipped 100% for fun. I was in college. Congratulations. That's called freedom to do what you want to do. Some people are a little bit more logical. They say it's not his job to give you money. She just then replies, I think you should stick to watching the Real Housewives and leave the important conversation to others. Shan then goes even further and says the super wealthy should tip at least 100% or more. Ghost Pebble 63 on TikTok says, do you expect him to bless you with retirement or something by just meeting him? 20% is overfair. How much you make doesn't change the price of the product, which I agree. Then she said, no, I expect him to give me $5 million in his social security number. 20% is the norm. As a DoorDash driver, trailer parks tips are better than mansions. What the fuck? What do you want from him? The rich stay rich by not sharing with the lower class, says Mariella Mali, is his money. So you basically wanted free money because he has a lot. I wish he backed his compliments with financial generosity, says Z. And then she goes on to reply and say, that's my point. And then Nilly, with no E or I in it, says, not you people defending a billionaire. And then she says, and this is the server, and this is why people don't want to tip y'all ass, says, I'm going to buy them all a silver spoon to eat out of his ass from. And to think, these are the people that are supposed to be serving you your food. These are the people that are supposed to be serving you your food. And they say all of the most reckless stuff about the people that are patronizing the businesses, and then got the nerve to get mad because they got a 20% tip. This will make you, if I didn't deal with the type of people that I deal with as far as really nice people on a regular basis, this will make you want to pull back from looking out from people on a regular basis. Let's get the rest of the video.
And no tea, no shade, nice doesn't pay the bills. You know, I'm not ever expecting somebody to give more or anything at all. You know, it's truly, I feel grateful when people tip. My service was good. But for them to speak so highly to me, of me, Jeff and Lauren told me my smile was contagious. Like, they were very nice, which made it harder for me to kind of accept.
That's why you don't give motherfuckers compliments, because now they expect for you to give money behind it. So they gave you a compliment. They paid their bill. They tipped you 20%. It was really, really nice to you. They wasn't snobby, and you complaining about it.
Like, you didn't even look at the bill, and you rid yourself of that responsibility. And again, that compliment, unfortunately, doesn't get to be split between the 47 people that are working right now. And you could have really changed some lives in there, and it would have meant nothing to you. You wouldn't have even noticed the difference in your bank account. And yet you tipped the same amount that a hard-working person would if they liked their service on a regular Tuesday. So yeah, just with everything I'm seeing, the millions of dollars that they're spending on this wedding and just the showboat that it is, it's quite pathetic that you couldn't even tip your server a little over 20%. Like, no joke. And I'm not saying that from an entitled place, but one time Steve Carell came into my restaurant, his bill was $400 and he left a $1,000 tip. Like, just because he has it. And
congratulations. God bless you. You know how many people have never gotten $1,000 tip in their life? Now, everybody is supposed to do that. Yeah, maybe tipping culture is bad. And I don't think it's bad. But when you see people like this, it makes you a little bit more bothered about the things that you have to deal with on a regular basis.
He understands the working class, you know? But it makes me quite sad for Bezos. And knowing he's a Capricorn as well kind of just solidifies the shadow of a Capricorn. And when they're not involved, like, he is literally the richest man in the world and is still acting like the brokest one. Let that speak for itself. Even with this $50 million wedding, he's still acting like the brokest one. We've seen those wedding invites. And I'm just sharing my experience here because I really do think that people that have an unfathomable amount of money can really change the world and should change the world. You know, like, I have so many big visions of how I would help everyone and everything around me with that much money, and knowing he could but didn't was really disappointing. So I don't know. Please, Mr. Bezos, don't block me out of Prime. Unfortunately, I am a Prime user.
Yo, so when you create a great company and you risk everything and you live in your garage and you make sure that you go against all odds and you put everything on the line to create a company to then employ millions of people across the world and serve a purpose and also fill a need while at the same time solving for a problem, then you too can then decide what you want to do with your money. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. T. Tanley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Maybe I'm off on this one.